So the White Lotus season 2, honestly, firstly it trumps season 1 by a mile and honestly just gets better and better and better and more gripping with each episode, and we have got so much to discuss for episode 5. What is up everybody, welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing episode 5 of season 2 of the White Lotus, and I just have to say from the off, I absolutely love these group of characters. I feel like we are on vacation with them and we are just experiencing all of the craziness that they are going through. And is it just me, or is each episode just getting more and more steamier from a bedroom perspective? But let's talk about Dominic. Let's start with him as we always do. So I feel like with this character, firstly, I just love Dominic. I feel like he's the most relatable out of everybody in this cast. And I feel like the walls must feel like they are closing in on him, especially as he is seeing Lucia just walking around all the time. And now is seemingly dating his son and was also naked in front of his dad. And he is trying to push her away. But I feel like she is playing a very dangerous game as she just still wants money from him and his family and is now seemingly really interested in Aubrey. I wonder if she staged that confrontation that happened when they were having ice cream and then walking around in Taormina. I wonder if she will later pay that guy to just create a bit of a scene with her and Aubrey. And is also chasing Cameron for money as well. So Lucia really has got her finger in a lot of pies when it comes to all of the guys in this hotel. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I literally just could not stop laughing in the opening sequence when she was just trying to ask Aubrey for money. And he was like, what am I supposed to pay you for? I just thought that conversation was just so hilarious. And I think it was quite paternal of Dominic to try to warn Aubrey of Lucia, and I feel like he just always takes his dad the wrong way. Fair enough, Dominic has made a few mistakes, but I feel like Aubrey firstly is quite rude to him, is very judgmental of him, and is really dismissive of his opinion and always thinks that he knows better than him. So is he delusional in thinking that Lucia is interested in him? Is Lucia genuinely interested in him? I just can't wait to see the fallout of what's going to happen in the final 2 episodes of this wicked season. Then we have her best friend Mia, and I think Mia, gosh, she was just so persistent with Valentina. I mean, she only sent Giuseppe into hospital in the previous episode, which I believe is the previous day, and now she is just so determined to get this singing gig, which she did actually get, so perseverance does pay. Flattery really does go a long way, as she was able to flatter Valentina and was also able to be a bit seductive with her as well. And like I guess in my previous episode breakdown, Valentina is very similar to Armand in terms of also being an LGBT person, and Mia was really able to use this in a somewhat manipulative way, as I feel like after she did suggest this to Valentina, that is when Valentina was kind of won over by her. And although it was really funny and interesting, the abuse of power that Valentina was exhibiting with Isabella and her colleague, because she really is interested in Isabella clearly, as she is buying her gifts and all this sort of stuff, which her colleague just did not appreciate. And then she removed him and sent him to the beach house and got somebody that she knew that Isabella wouldn't be interested in to replace him. So I feel like Valentina is a real game player and really does show all of the office politics that even do happen at a resort. And I just absolutely loved Harper's reaction to what Ethan was telling her, and also the way in which she was just spiraling out of control. I think Aubrey Plaza just brings so much to the role of Harper. And I love how, you know, in the previous episode, she was giving him quite a few chances to tell her the truth, but he didn't do that. And on that point, I love that about the White Lotus actually, because it does have a lot of storylines that are just slow burning and you know are just going to explode in the final couple of episodes, but at the same time, it does start a conflict in one episode and then resolves it in the next episode, which I do actually really appreciate about this series. But anyway, I thought it was so funny how Ethan, when he had to tell her the truth, when he discovered the condom packet, and was like, look, you should be really happy about the fact that I didn't sleep with anyone and that I didn't do anything wrong, whereas she is freaking out over the fact that he was drinking and having drugs and having prostitutes in their bedroom, and Cameron is sleeping with both of them in their bedroom as well. So I think you can really see it from both of their perspectives, but I just thought that confrontation was just absolutely incredible. And then like I just said, Harper is then just spiraling out of control and is then just dropping a lot of hints for Daphne to discover the truth, which Cameron is getting really annoyed at. And I absolutely loved Ethan's confrontation with Cameron. So first he felt a little bit weak by Cameron when he was like, look, I just had to tell her the truth. She found out everything. And then you can see the cogs going in Cameron's brain as Theo James is just playing this nasty guy so well. And Ethan, when he was reminiscing about the past and when he was pushed to give an answer, he was like, look, Cameron, you're the person that I can tell just always wants to be the alpha male, so will always squash people when he can see that they might get above him, which he is now doing by flirting and touching Harper. So I just think the Cameron character is just so messed up, and I just feel so bad for Ethan, as if he had just been honest with Harper right from the beginning, then he could have avoided all of this, and maybe he would have removed Cameron from his life, which he really does need to do, as Cameron is just such a bad influence to him. As Cameron clearly just wants to take everything that he wants from anybody, and now his target is Ethan, and his other target is obviously Harper, as he feels like he can't help himself, and he feels like he can take Harper, and maybe Cameron will lie and will tell Harper that actually, do you know what, Ethan did do something, and Ethan won't be able to defend himself as he has put so much doubt in Harper's mind, and maybe this is how Cameron convinces Harper to sleep with him, which Daphne has also planted some seeds in Harper's mind, as she said, look, sometimes I sleep with my personal trainer, so is making it seem okay that Harper sleeps with somebody else even in a marriage, as Daphne is clearly doing the same thing. I really hope that Harper and Ethan are able to leave this series as a tight unit, both hopefully alive, both hopefully together, and both hopefully in good health. But it just seems as if Ethan's best friend Cameron and his wife Daphne are just going to make these two really live to regret ever going on holiday with them. And this especially could be the case if Harper just continues to do all the drinking that she has now started. And I just thought that wine tasting sequences were just absolutely incredible. Albie and Portia having amicable goodbyes to each other I thought was a little bit sad. I was obviously these two had a really great friendship, and even though clearly they're not going to work in a relationship, I did think it was sad nonetheless. Going back to Dominic and Bert for a moment, I thought it was really interesting, that conversation actually, as Dominic was like, look Dad, you are the person that made me the person that I am, as I constantly saw you cheating on Mother. And in Bert's mind, he felt like him and his wife had a really good relationship, and he felt like she never really knew all of the cheating that he was getting up to, whereas Dominic is like, look, everybody knew. So I thought that conversation was just so good, and these two actors are clearly such veteran actors, so I just loved that conversation. And Portia genuinely seems head over heels for Jack, and he seems to be the perfect person for her, as he is able to give her a lot of thrills, he is able to give her a lot of adventure, and just knows this area, so it can really show her a good time. But then, the final moments of this episode, we discover that he is actually sleeping with his uncle. Wonder what the reasons are for this. Maybe his uncle has something on him, maybe this is the way that Jack gets money from his uncle. I feel like it's so twisted, and I feel like the White Lotus, both season 1 and season 2, really do show the darkness of really, really rich people. And speaking of which, the uncle was having some really dark conversations when he was talking about death with Tanya. So I hope that she's going to get out of this season alive as well. On that point, like I said in my previous episode breakdown, I really do feel like they need to give Jennifer Coolidge so much more to do. As in The Watcher, she was absolutely unbelievable. And I just feel like Tanya hasn't risen to those heights just yet. And you just know that Jennifer Coolidge totally has it in her. And speaking of season 1, I just feel like all of the throwbacks in this episode in particular were just really, really good. For example, like we mentioned before, the Valentina and Armand similarities. And Tanya, because she was a character that was in season 1 and in season 2, she was actually able to throw back towards the end of season 1 when she took away the opportunity to open up a health spa with that well-being expert. And she was like, look, maybe she put some witchy spell on me, which is why she is so cursed. And of course, like I just mentioned before, it really does hark back to all of the darkness that happens with the really rich people. So I just have to say, the 5th episode of season 2 of The White Lotus was just absolutely incredible. I'm just loving all of these characters, love being in Sicily, love exploring all these other towns of Palermo, Noto, and Taormina, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in episodes 6 and 7. But now I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of episode 5? Please let us all know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.